Right, so here at the 2 o'clock position on Antigua Shipyard, we have Fnatic emphasized TT1 spawning as our pink Protoss player. His opponent here at the 11 o'clock position, that is Dignitas.Killer, who just took out Fnatic Night End. So has one win under his belt against a Protoss player, going for number 2.
Well, I'm excited because this could be the last game we see of a Zerg player. I don't know who else. Does Dignitas have any other good Zerg players that I'm forgetting?
Oh, you're going to put me on the spot right now.
I don't know. So I admit I am a complete noob to
Killer's the only one that I see play on a regular basis.
Right, so this could be the last Zerg we see if Dignitas.Killer loses here. I hope Killer goes on to keep playing because I love casting Zerg players, but we'll just have to wait and see. And one thing about TT1 is he's a great 5-gate, 4-gate, 6-gate, 20-gate, 30-gate, 50-gate, all in.
He's a very, very aggressive gateway player. You are absolutely correct. And it looks like he's dropping down pylon here. Don't forget, this is a pretty narrow ramp into your natural, easily sequestered off by force fields and the like. So I would expect TT1 to go after some sort of an early expand into... You were mentioning during the break some sort of 5-gate pressure, maybe into 7 or 8-gate all-in if he decides to. Would not be terribly surprised to see that play out of TT1.
Yeah, I want to see how Killer responds to this kind of playstyle, because it's always interesting to me to see how a Zerg player reacts to a Protoss player that is known for his aggression. Almost certainly, it's going to change up the playstyle a little bit here for Killer. I would imagine he's going to get that Roach Warren down much earlier than he did in the previous game, and he's going to try to get those Roaches out immediately, because Roaches deal so well against Protoss gateway aggression. Actually, they're necessary. They're necessity to gateway aggression. So we'll see if Killer gets that Roach Warren down immediately. He is opening a pull first this time.
This is TT1 actually opening 17
way.
Nexus.
No way!
This is very, very aggressive. You seem very happy with this play, though. I like it. I
like it. No,
extremely ballsy.
I like it because it's completely not what you expect from TT1.
Yeah, certainly.
And Killer is going to scout this, and now Killer's probably scratching his head like, what do I do now? And as a Zerg player, I've got to say you've got two options. You can double expand now, because you know aggression most likely isn't going to be coming for the next, I don't know, 8 minutes or so.
Right.
So you can double expand and drone to your high in heaven, or you can try to bust this down. But, you know, given this ramp, it's pretty easily walled off. So I don't know if Killer's going to be able to break this down, but we'll just have to wait and see.
And here we go. It looks like he is going to wall off with double gateway and forge, giving himself a nice, secure full wall. There's the 150 for a photon cannon, so he's going to be pretty well defended against any sort of Zergling pressure. Yes, this cannon's going to take another 30 seconds to come up. These speedless links are going to take a while to make their way across the map and not really going to pose any sort of threat until that cannon comes up.
No, well, I don't think the links will be able to do anything at all. I mean, they're not going to be able to break the pylon down to get inside, and the cannon is going to get up. There is an opening for 2 links to hit that cannon, I think, or maybe 1. No,
it's actually
fully walled off.
Yeah. Yep.
So the cannon's going to come in here, and now the Nexus has come up for TT1. TT1 will be able to double Chrono Boost probes, and all eyes now are on Dignitas' Killer's production tab. What is he doing in response to this? He's got speed. He's got the 1 drone mining gas. He has an expansion coming up. So no real revelation yet as to what he plans to do. Certainly, a Roachling all-in is conceivable right now because he still hasn't grabbed the 3rd hatchery yet.
Yeah, he is obviously he's obviously not worried at the moment of any earlier aggression than what he saw last time. Don't forget, last game against Night End, he actually defended against what I think it was a 5-cell at rush or something along those lines, coinciding with the initial expansion being put down. So he's no stranger to pressure in these circumstances. But how aggressive is he going to be? We're going to see that Roach Warren here in a bit.
Yeah, well, the Roach Warren hasn't come up yet, so I actually don't think he's going to do the Roachling all-in. In fact, I see a drone moving down to the left, so it is going to be a 3rd hatch here, so he's going to try to play a macro game. One thing, guys, I do have to say, I was really sick over the weekend, as you guys who tuned into the broadcast no doubt know about it. Somebody asked, tucking 5 paws? All right, well, that was not a curse word at all. That was close, but not quite. He asked, HD, are you feeling better, buddy? I am feeling better. And
it is good, because I know you guys were really sick for a while.
Well, Pain User's actually out with strep throat.
He is, yes.
Hopefully none of us get that, and I hope he feels better.
Send Taylor your well wishes, because he certainly needs it. I've been through that before. It's no fun. So
yeah, absolutely. Well, interesting little thing here. TT1 is attacking his own pylon. Once again, we have a mass Zealot opening from our Protoss player from Fnatic, and he is going to move out across the map with about 5 or 6 Zealots. The Roachhorn isn't quite up yet, so conceivably TT1 could do a little bit of damage. He may be able to force a cancel on the hatchery. No, that hesitation right there will probably cost him.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit harder for him to make his way out, especially with the Roachhorn just finishing. How many larvae are available? Nothing over at the third. He's got a fair bit available. There's another 5 sit over there at the main in addition. And
wow,
TT1's putting up third Nexus. So we may be in store for super long macro game.
Actually, I don't quite agree with T21 expanding there. There are rocks that lead up to that expansion, right? If you go south just a little bit, there are rocks right there. And the move out with the Zealots from T21, he's got to expect that Killer's response is going to be a bunch of roaches. And if we pull up the unit tab right now, Killer actually's got 8 roaches on the field right now. So conceivably, Killer could try to attack through those rocks and pick off that Nexus. We'll just have to wait and see, because T1 is getting some cannons up right now, but that is an opening that Killer can exploit with his roaches.
And someone's asking us to pick our nose if this is live. Unfortunately, we're not going to do this, Mr. J Dan's 299, but this is indeed live. So here we go. Another photon cannon coming in for TT1. He's actually making sure that he is going to be pretty well defended at both of his expansions, that he's still only producing off of 2 unupgraded gateways. Warp gate technology at 9 minutes into the game is still 60 seconds away from finishing.
Oh man, I really feel like Killer should be using his roaches to do something right now. I mean, the one thing that comes to mind on Antigua Shipyard, if you've got roaches on the map and you know your Protoss has only got Zealots, attack through those rocks, man, that lead to the third. Eventually the Protoss is going to get that third expansion up. I don't know why he's not taking advantage of that, because actually if he killed those rocks down right now, I think he could force a cancel on the Nexus, or at least kill off the Nexus, but now it's a little too late. The cannons are up at the front door, and it looks like T21 is sitting pretty good in this game. He's already got the supply advantage as well.
He's not transferring any probes over there. We go. Okay, I was about to say his Nexus has been up for a little while. It's produced a couple of probes. The transfer coming through, hopefully it doesn't get cut off by Killer. Looks like Killer will show up just a little bit too late. And TT1, if he goes unmolested for the next couple of minutes,
he is going to steamroll Killer.
He's going to be actually a production beast. He's already got 6, now 7 gates.
And +1 weapons.
Yeah, and he's going to be well upgraded, and he's just going to be able to mass Blink Stalkers or something along those lines like you wouldn't believe. Yeah, this is actually going to be pretty bad, but here we go. Killer actually going to make his way through the destructible debris.
But I don't know. This is something he should have done about 2 minutes ago. It's a little bit too late now. We'll have to see if he can exact any kind of damage whatsoever. And you know what? At this point, I don't even know if it's safe for Killer to grab the 4th hatchery, which you would imagine would be the right response since the Protoss players is on 3 bases, but I don't think he can. I think starting right now, he's got to produce all-out units, because this 7 or 8 gate, whatever TT1's operating off of, is going to be attacking Killer pretty soon. Killer's going to need all the forces he can get to defend against it.
And the last 3 gateways are just about to fall. Oh my god. So that's 7 gates right there, plus Twilight Council. So he's going to be on 9 gates. Robo with Twilight Council, certainly sustainable off of 3 bases. No problem at all. But actually now is Killer's time. He's going to make his way up. He kills 1, now 2 of the sentries. But TT1 with a couple of force fields is going to send some units over to go ahead and defend. And the longer that Killer is not able to commit to a big damaging push, the farther ahead that TT1's going to get.
Yeah, TT1 is just climbing into an astronomical stratosphere right now. Nice little engage right here by Killer, but actually ends up doing a little bit of damage, doesn't take any damage at all, doesn't get force fielded out. One important thing to note, though, is Killer is going for tunneling claws right now, which is going to help him burrow underneath this all-out gateway army. And remember, TT1 doesn't have a robotics facility, so the Observer isn't going to come into play at all.
It just finished. It just
Never
finished.
Mind.
So,
no. Facility is in the field.
You know, he hasn't produced anything from it, though. So you are correct. There's no Observer on the field, but it did just finish. So he's going to have that pretty quickly. Although both players are about ready to max, actually in very, very short period of time. First Observer is on the way. We have +1 armor and Blink coming up. That's going to present a pretty well-rounded defense against Killer.
Oh, Killer getting a good engage right here, forcing all those units back. Not bad at all. And the force field's not cutting the roaches in half. That was not the best force field usage, but I think TT1 was just trying to play defensively. Doesn't want those roaches barreling up his ramp. And Killer trying to press his advantage here. Is he going to really attack into these cannons? He's actually burrowing underneath the cannons here. Keep in mind the cannons revealing all the roaches, and now the unburrow. Does Killer have enough to break through? I don't know.
Well, we're going to find out, because if he even kills his opponent's army but doesn't inflict economic economic damage, TT1 is still in a good spot. He's warping in a couple of units as well. Looks like a lot of these roaches are going to fall. TT1 finally reinforcing with units from the back as well. And again, he's playing pretty minimal defense, and he's just going to hope that he can continue to reinforce. But my God, the roaches just keep streaming in.
I think Killer may have been able to break TT1 here. Killer's doing a great job. He just busted through the third. He has killed off almost all the forces. Cannon's getting canceled as well. And now the Nexus is exposed to attack. Will Killer go for the Nexus, or is he going to try to finish off all these Stalkers? It looks like he's going to kill the Stalkers off first. And he's doing a great job at that.
God, TT1 had 85 workers there for a while, for just 12.5 minutes into the game. It was going to allow him to reproduce very quickly. But wow, Killer actually doesn't kill the Nexus, and thus no real economic damage has been inflicted quite yet. That gives time for TT1 to go ahead and prepare another defense.
But the important thing, though, is he did diminish that entire Protoss army, which is really huge. I mean, the Protoss armies take so much longer for the Zerg army to remax, and I think right now Killer's sitting at a very big advantage. Even if he pulled out right now and didn't kill off that Nexus, I think he did his work. He can grab another expansion, but all that said, he still has the roaches at the front door. I'm surprised he isn't killing off that Nexus. He's actually going to try to barrel through the front right here. True to his name, he's the killer, man.
And he's going to go for it. Photon cannons have fallen, but these Zealots are actually being pretty effective. Someone pinging the maps, letting us know that roaches actually aren't attacking the Nexus at the moment. More units warping in for TT1 now. Pylon goes down, canceling a few of those units' warp-ins, and Killer is reproducing so many units at the moment and just flooding them in.
That's incredible how many roaches Killer is able to produce right now, completely outproducing an even base Protoss. That's insane. And remember, guys, TT1 had about 9 gateways worth of production here. TT1 just not able to keep up with Killer, even though he had more probes, even though he had more production. And I have to go back and say that's because Killer started doing exactly what I said he should do. Don't go for the 4th hatch and start producing all-out attacking units. That's exactly what he did.